Alright, so whenever I get my parts, I'm going to do a full brake job on the whole truck. So while I'm waiting on my neighbor to get ready to get me right into town, I'm going to go ahead and try to get these other wheels pulled off and get the brakes pulled apart. The bolts that hold these on are very tight. There's a lot of work to get them off, so I figure I'll get it done now, and then it'll be quick and easy to get everything put back together, bleed the brakes down. Thought I'd show you though. So this is one of the brake pads off of this side. You can see that one, that looks pretty good. Now, see this little thing here? Focus. What that is, that's a little kind of a feeler. And so that will start dragging against the rotor and it makes a bad sound. So that tells you that the brake pads are worn. You can see this one hasn't quite touched yet, so it's not quite there. This pad actually still has a little bit of life left in it. We're going to replace it anyway, of course. This is the back side of the same one though. Check that out. So you can see they put these grooves in here so that the brake dust has somewhere to go so that it can kind of get out. This one, those grooves are pretty much worn all the way down. This one was almost getting into the backing metal. And if you look at this feeler, it's the same level as the brake pad, so this one has been dragging. And I knew that. I'd been hearing it for a while, which is why I was planning on doing brakes this weekend. That passenger side ended up not quite making it. So let me show you real quick. Comparison. So this is the one that caused my problems. You can see there's no pad left. What I'm getting into here, you can see these are the rivets that hold it in. The pad's completely gone. So this was just backing metal grinding against the rotor. On the other side, still got some of those grooves there, but if you look at this, that feeler was dragging as well. This one, what ruined my caliper, you'll notice no feeler. So what it looks like happened is that little feeler broke off and got pulled through. And you guys see that? Just completely destroyed the plungers on my caliper here. And of course, just ate away from grinding on this rotor, just ground it away. So this is a good 1/4 inch of material loss on that side of the rotor. It's flash rusted overnight, but yeah, not good. So we'll get the front of the truck on blocks and let's go pull the back ones off, see what they look like. Alrighty, back from the parts store. Went ahead and threw the rotor on there. Here's my new caliper. Nice and shiny and clean. Doesn't that look good? And here's the brake pads. So look at that one compared to this one. So definitely time to do brakes. That's pretty much everything. Brake fluid over there, one-man bleeder system there. Got a windshield washer fluid while I was there. And yeah, let me show you this real quick. While we were there, we had to go to, my neighbor happened to be going to that other store that I was saying I wanted to go to. So I got some cherry tomatoes and a different type of tomato, and then a whole bunch of herbs. And this bag has some onions in it, and I've got okra seeds in that brown bag. So once I get my truck fixed, we'll fix my water, and then we'll go get all these put in. On my herbs, it has an H in it. What I think I'm going to do is I've got those 2 orange feed tubs. I'm going to fill them up with dirt and then put them probably inside the fence of my garden just so that critters don't get to it. And we'll have like little raised pots to grow herbs in. So that'll be cool. So, alright, back to work. Let's get these brakes put back together. Well, I just screwed up. So, trying to recompress the plungers on this caliper, and I think they make a special tool for doing it, but I didn't get it. I got one of them. This one I was having trouble with, so I tried putting something in there to push on it. I broke the backside of the plunger out. You probably can't see it. But that's not gonna work. So, man, I need another caliper. Crap. That sucks because it's 30 minutes away. Man, I hate to take up another hour of my neighbor's time. I guess let me call her and see if she can give me a ride. That's irritating. Alright, back from town. Got the other caliper on. Got this one on. Bought C-clamp to compress the rear two calipers so I didn't break them. That worked pretty good. Grab this before I forget it. One more tire to put on and then we should be done. So got the brakes bled down. I picked up one of these little one-man bleeder kits. Worked pretty good. It's got a check valve in there and you stick this end in the bleeder valve and then you pump your brakes and it bleeds them for you. Pretty easy. Took a little while. There's a lot of air in there, of course, because I'd had the line taken out. So, all right. Did I show you guys this already? Yeah, I did. Some new plants. Haven't got to that yet. I still got to fix my water. It's getting late on me, so one of those is gonna have to wait till tomorrow, I think. All right. So we're digging this water line up. I've run into a problem. That is a 3/4 inch line. The outlet there is 1 inch, and the inlet on the other side is 1 inch. So that's 1 by 1 by 3/4 T. I bought 1 by 1 by 1 T's to put back in here. The hardware store closed 15-20 minutes ago, so I can't go back and get a reducer or a different T. And another problem that I'm running into is that I had just scooped all this water out. Can't really see it right now, but there's a layer of rock. You can see the rock there, and whenever you cut into it, water just pours out of the rock, so it's constantly backfilling with water behind me. Now I can scoop it down fast enough that if I was set up, had everything ready, I could probably get that T put back in place. Trouble is, if I cut the T off, then whenever I go to put it back in, it's going to be in the wrong place. It's going to be further that way. So what I really need to do is cut it off deeper down, which means digging a deeper hole, which I can do, cutting it off, putting a coupler, coming up back to this height, and then putting the T on. Now, I can do that. I bought some couplers anticipating that I might have to do that. And then the same thing with this. Probably the best thing to do would be to stub out of one of my 1 by 1 by 1 T's and come out a little bit, cut this pipe off over here somewhere, and then put a reducer on the end of that, the little 1 inch stub that I have out, and that'll get all that put back. But as I'm looking at it, and you can probably tell, this comes in at like some weird angles. So this is on like a 45-degree angle that way and this way, and then that 3/4 inch line is a 45-degree angle out that way. The way this used to work is that I had a 45 attached to that, which came out to kind of over here somewhere and then turned straight up. So I've got half a mind to dig this whole thing up, dig this up all the way back over there, by the fence where it heads out to the pasture. And I'm actually not convinced that this is the line that goes to the pasture, because I have really good water pressure out there, and it's out there where that tree is. That's a pretty long run for a 3/4 inch line. So the way this comes out of the ground, it's at a weird angle, which I don't understand. Now this hole has always stayed wet, which makes me suspect that there's a leak in here somewhere. And in addition to this coming out of the ground at weird angles, the pipe that's sticking out of the bottom of this T here does not hit the T straight on. It's at a weird angle. Well, that causes leaks in PVC. They need to be pretty well lined up, and it's pretty far out. So I'm thinking that this is kind of a weird mix match job that somebody kind of hacked together I think that might be causing a water leak here. And then there's some other areas, like right over here, that just always hold water. And so I'm wondering if there's some kind of a weird connection in here. I've never dug this up, but I found in here somewhere, right here, there's a piece of broken off PVC sticking up out of the ground. I don't know what that used to be. It's a fairly big piece of pipe. So I'm curious to know what's underneath of it. And this area always stays wet, so there may be a water leak in here as well. Now, in addition to that, I've got a frost-free hydrant that I want to put over here, so I'll need to dig the line up over that way. It's really hard to tell, though, actually where that line comes over here from, because I can't really see. I mean, I'm going to have to keep digging down. And the way this is all built just seems janky. So, I got half a mind to, like I said, dig all of this up. Dig this out all the way until I find the end of it, or until I hit the fence. If I hit the fence, maybe that's just it. Maybe that's the line. And then dig this line, the bigger one, down until I find wherever it tees or 90s or wherever it ends at, and then figure out what's going on with it and why it's hitting this at such a weird angle. And then trace that back. Now, there's also supposed to be water right here underneath these bricks. So I don't know. I've never dug it up to find it. I wasn't that worried about it. I'd found water here, and this is all kind of temporary anyway, so I wasn't that concerned about it. So I don't know if this is like a weird branch off of this area, and if the water line from the road actually comes in to this area, which, so that corner post is over here. So if that's the case, then it'll be underneath my garden over here somewhere. And if it comes in to this spot, then it's going to be over there somewhere. That's a big difference when you're just digging holes trying to find a water line, and I don't even know how deep it is. So, like I said, this goes down deeper. From wherever this goes to, it goes down deeper than where that's at. And that hole's about maybe 2.5 feet deep right now. So that water line may be 4 or 5 feet deep, which would be, it would not be unreasonable. But, yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think for now, I'm just going to stop right here. I'm not going to have water again tonight, which that's a bummer, so I'm going to have to go back to work to take a shower. No big deal though. And I'm going to go get my other plants in that I got today. So go get that taken care of. Now, the downside of leaving this where it's at is that it's supposed to rain a whole bunch tomorrow. And so, that hole's going to be full of water for sure. But it's already full of water. I don't have the parts to fix it. So, I guess that's just what we're going to do. Alright then. Okay, I sat down, I thought about it for a minute. I can just cut that line off, put this on here, and then I can get my valve hooked back up, and I can get my water turned back on. That will get me water for now, and then I'm going to call my cousin, Oklahoma Waterman, and he happens to be kind of a subject matter expert in water, specifically utility work. And he's got this great little mini Traco that will make short work of all this digging that I'm going to need to do, and I can hire him out here at cost. So, since I'll have my water turned back on, it won't be an emergency or anything. And so it can wait until everything dries up. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to dig that down just a little bit deeper so that I can get to it real good. We'll dredge it all out of there with my peanut can, and then have everything set up and ready. We'll get this stuck on there real fast. We'll get my valve screwed back in, and I can go get the water turned on. Blow all the mud out that's going to be in there, and then I'll get my filter and everything hooked back up. So, yeah, we're going to do that. Well, water's turned back on. No leaks. That's good. So, let me get in here real quick. We'll let that run for just a second. It was mud brown when it first started coming out, so just let that run for a little bit. Yes, we'll water the garden while I'm here. You guys remember a while back I was having problems with my toilet. The seal was leaking real bad. So you can see how much of a stream I have here. For some reason I have like 120 psi to the meter, which is fine, and that may be why that little 3/4 inch line can carry water all the way out to the pasture, because it's starting out way higher pressure than it should be. I think normal would be like 70 or something on the high side. So I had to put that regulator in. That fixed that. I guess I'm wetting all this down. I'm about to go dig around in there and plant some more plants. Oh well. Well, okay. So that ought to be enough to get that cleaned out. Turn it off. I'm going to get my plants in, and then I'll leave this on hook so I can water them. And yeah, so got water again. Truck's fixed. Did good. More plants for the garden. So all in all, not a bad day, I suppose. Let's go get these guys in, and we'll see you guys next time.